Hey, what's up, guys? Alright, so to say that this chapter spearheaded the plot forward, dude, that'd be a complete understatement. I mean, seriously, the plot moved forward in this chapter in a speed that I did not think was possible. I mean, to the point where if I didn't know better, I would say that this would be the point where we get to like the last 10 chapters of the arc. The only reason why I don't think if this was any other manga, I would be thinking, all right, this is exactly where we are leaving off. Like the arc is ending. This is like probably the last 10 chapters of it. And the only reason why I don't think that for this manga right now is simply because of the fact that we have so much still to go over. I mean, we still have to get Gouch and Marie back to normal. We still had to get we still had to get Char back to normal. We still had to find out about Yuno's heritage. We had to still we still have to see the fight between Asta and Lich, if that's going to happen. We need to find out what's going on with Patry. Like, we need to see exactly whose side Lich is on. So much stuff that we still have to go over for this arc that there's no way it's going to be ending in the next like 10 chapters. Okay, guys, so I actually don't have a lot of time to go over this review, so I'm kind of just going to jump through things pretty quickly. If there's anything that I didn't really elaborate on or catch up on from the chapter, I'll probably make a video about that, and if it's important anyway, I'll probably make a video about that coming out next week, talking more about that and stuff like that. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so starting off, we got Fauna and Veto coming back to life. We got the reincarnations of them, which, I kind of expected that we would, considering the fact that we're basically bringing back all the elves. I figured at some point we'd bring them back as well. I didn't expect them to be in created bodies, though, kind of like how it is for Witch. But yeah, they're in created bodies. They don't have the third eyes anymore, which means they're no longer going to have. It's kind of weird because they bring up the third eye, and they mention the fact that that kind of made Fauna and Veto kind of crazy from the get go with their original reincarnation. But for some reason, Raya wasn't crazy. He wasn't affected by the third eye, and the third eye is like the demonicness for that power that makes them go mad and crazy. It's kind of the same way as the curse that they're in right now with this current form of reincarnation that they're in until they get that perfected one once they get the final magic stone. So yeah, after that part, I was just kind of left wondering exactly why the two of them were kind of crazy when we originally were introduced to them in the series, while Raya has pretty much been the same character he's been since his introduction. And you know what? I'm actually really liking the redesign for Veto in this chapter. Now, Fauna looks pretty much exactly the same as she did when we last saw her, which kind of makes me think that maybe the human who was Fauna, I can't think of her name off the top of my head at the moment, but it kind of has me thinking that maybe she actually was supposed to be Fauna's reincarnation. I don't know, maybe because she's from the Diamond Kingdom, she wasn't affected by the reincarnation spell. Again, I don't know. But anyway, she looks pretty much the same. But Veto, I actually am really liking the like sleek, like younger looking Veto that we get. Especially since, they mentioned the fact that the bodies that they're in are only aged up to be about 15 years old. So that explains the reason why he's, not overly muscular, he's not extremely tall, he's not overly hairy like we originally saw. Anyway, the three of them actually end up meeting up with the rest of the elves, and we see that basically Lich is back up and running. In the last chapter they said that he went back into a deep sleep, but I guess he needed to wake up again for, being plot convenient in this chapter. We see Patrick being extremely excited to see Lich finally again. Then we actually get to see that they're at an area where there's basically a giant seal. It's actually the same seal that's in the that's in the stone tablet that they put all the magic stones in order to activate the reincarnation spell, which has me wondering whether or not this is just like a larger version of the tablet. Because you can see a little bit of writing on the ground as well. It looked kind of similar to the tablet, but it was way too big to be the tablet that we've been seeing up to this point. So it has me wondering, maybe they just use some kind of spell to enlarge it, or maybe they just created the seal all over again so they can actually do it, just use their own bodies this time. Because what we find out is that in order to use this version of the seal, they need 10 extremely powerful elves, which basically are made up of Patry, Lich, obviously, Fauna, Veto, Raya, the elf that's controlled Gouche, a few other ones, Lil, and there's also an elf that looks extremely like Dorothy, the Imaginary Captain. We don't exactly get to see a close up of that elf, but based on the way they're designed, they actually look a lot like her. But we don't actually have confirmation whether or not it's her or not. Which, if it is her, that'll explain the reason why she hasn't shown up yet. She's one of the few captains we haven't actually seen fight yet, so that would explain that. Now, like I said, they actually need 10 elves for this ritual, but we end up finding out that basically the last elf that is actually supposed to complete the ritual with them is Yuno. But since the elf inside of him actually wasn't aware of itself, and Yuno was actually able to retake its body, that's kind of on the back burner for right now, and that's kind of put the plan on halt. But lucky for them, and they actually kind of figured this out in the chapter, that Yuno's on his way to the capital right now. So whether or not he wants to be a part of it or not, you could tell that basically just the way everything's going, he's most likely going to get dragged into this ritual, whether or not the elf actually reawakens at some point, or if he just gets forcibly dragged into it. Plus, on top of that, we already know that they still need one more magic stone, which we pretty much figured that Yuno has. But while they're waiting for Yuno, we actually see that they do kind of activate the stone tablet with just the 9 of them, using their energy to basically to start up the process. And once they activate it, this dark, like extremely dark castle just forms up out of nowhere. And basically what we end up finding out is that somehow this castle is a doorway to the afterlife in a way or a sense. And basically this castle will be used to basically get rid of the souls of the humans inside the elves' bodies. That way, once the reincarnation spell is complete, there's no possible way, if it is actually completed, any human who actually gets affected by it will completely lose their soul, and the elf inside them will have full control over the body completely, with no chance of basically saving them. Which basically, puts a timetable on this situation, because now they have to defeat the elves before the ritual can actually start, before the ritual finishes, basically before Yuno has a chance to get put in that last spot. Now, throughout the chapter, we do get quick glimpses of Noelle, Nozel, Zora, Yami, and Jack, as the 5 of them are kind of just looking on to see what's going on, kind of freaking out about the fact that all the elves are there, and, extremely how kind of fucked they are in the situation. And then once they realize exactly what's going on in that dark castle, they kind of want to jump into action right away. But this is actually when we get to see Klaus and his team, basically the fodder elves that Mario Yona fought a few chapters ago, or like in the beginning of this part of the arc. Basically, we see them jump in to basically hold them off long enough for the main elves to do their thing. And then basically, once everything looks kind of fucked for everyone else, that's when Asta and his crew finally come in, basically ready to fight. And that's pretty much where the chapter ends. Now, I'm extremely excited by how this chapter ended and exactly what happened in this chapter, because we got so much set up. We got the elves basically ready to start the reincarnation magic. We got the timeline. We got basically the countdown to the elves being fully reincarnated, and the fact that means the Magic Knights have to fight that much harder, because if they don't, they're pretty much all their friends and all the people they care about who are currently being controlled by an elf will officially die. They'll never be able to be reincarnated or be put back in their own bodies. So they had a timetable with that. And I'm actually kind of interested in seeing exactly what's going to happen with Patry, or not with Patry, with Lich, because in this chapter it's still extremely evident that he is not fully aware of himself or fully aware of what's going on. So I'm wondering, maybe we'll have the reincarnation magic work enough so that he can actually fully come to himself. And then I'm actually wondering exactly whose side he will be on, because we know that Lich was a big advocate for humans and elves living together peacefully. But we don't know if in his final moments, once he activated the original reincarnation spell, which we're all pretty sure turned him into that giant demon that the original Magic Emperor had to kill. We don't know if he was twisted at that point, if at that point he had given up on living peacefully with humans, and actually falls more in line with what Patry feels right now, of basically wanting to kill all humans off. Or if he actually just, once he gets fully awakened, he would be kind of disgusted with what the elves are doing right now and actually want to work against them and actually stop them, try to convince them not to do this. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the chapter. I'm extremely excited about what we'll set up in the chapter, and I'm actually extremely excited for what we have left to go over for this arc. Basically, stuff like, finding out what's going to happen with Char, basically, turn her back to normal, Gouch's encounter with the rest of the Black Bulls, how they fix him, Patry. We know that at some point we had to have Patry and Asta go at it, simply because of the fact that Asta looked up to Julius so much, and the fact that Patry killed him. Asta's gonna want to get revenge, or want to fight him by himself. But at the same time, I kind of want to leave that fight to Yami, because the two of them have unfinished business. Patry and Yami, the two of them fought before, and we didn't really get to finish that fight. So I actually would like to see the two of them actually finish off that fight at this point. But like I said, there's just so much that, I'm looking forward to for the arc. Even though this chapter did kind of rush the plot forward and it makes it feel like we only have a few chapters left, basically we have so much left to go over that, there's going to be a lot more chapters going down. I expect maybe at least another 40 chapters of this arc left. But who knows? I could be wrong. We actually could be at the end of it and we'll feel like 10 chapters left. we'll just have to wait to see. But that's it for the review. That's it for the chapter. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Drop me a like, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Comment down below with your thoughts and theories, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.